Hi and welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. Just doing a little video here on something people might find useful, but I'm always on the lookout for new technology, but I appreciate that sometimes if you buy it when it first comes out it's expensive and there may be issues with it. And the Apple Watch was, in my opinion, a prime example of this. Now when they launched the Apple Watch 2, the second generation, I saw that as an opportunity to purchase the original version, the Apple Watch 1, because the price is obviously going to drop because more people are going to sell their Apple Watch 1 and then move on to the Apple Watch 2. So there's going to be more available, more choice, so it becomes a buyer's market, whereas when they're brand new, it's a seller's market. Now, I think the Apple Watch was a little bit expensive, not compared to some watches, to be honest. I've had watches that cost over £500 before, so not massively. But I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money on one, so I set myself a budget. And I've just had a notification, and the budget was £150, which is about a couple of $100. Now, looking around for quite some time, a sort of a bashed up 38mm version is probably what you'd get. But I just held out, found a mint inbox, worn once, 42mm sport version, and I paid in the end, I went a little bit over budget, £160, and that includes postage. So I was well pleased with that, and it was mint inbox. So that's what I've got. And the first thing I did when I got it was I put on the new firmware, which is version 3, I think it is, which changed some of the functions of the watch and how it works, and it's more akin to the Series 2. So you're getting some of the Series 2 functionality on a Series 1 watch. Now obviously the Series 2 offers the better waterproofness and built-in GPS. Those two things are things I can really do without. Not an issue for me, so it wasn't a problem. But right from the start of the Apple Watch, when I saw it launched and I watched lots of YouTube videos, the overriding sort of vibe I got from the YouTube community was quite poor, and lots of people griping about the poor battery life, the inconsistent swipes on the screen, slow processing, and obviously screens getting scratched and things like that. But mostly it was like the battery life things and the actual operating system. So I'm never really interested in it, and I bought myself a Pebble watch. I've had great fun with that, and it's been brilliant. But the problem with the Pebble watch and Apple is they don't really talk to each other properly, so you can't interact. You can receive your notifications, but you can't respond to them. So that's been fine for a little while, but I wanted something where I could respond to the notifications. So I've got the 42mm Apple Watch 2. You've all seen it. I don't need to show you close-ups of this. But firstly, let's talk about battery life. And I had people saying, I left it on charge all night and it had come off the stand and it didn't charge, so I couldn't use it the next day and all things like that. And that really put me off all that. But the first thing I've noticed is that, firstly, it lasts for more than 24 hours, which is fine, in my opinion. So my sort of system is twofold. One is at about 10 o'clock at night, when I'm sort of just chilling, watching a bit of telly or whatever, I pop it on the charger. Takes an hour and a half, fully charged. That will then get me through till that time the following evening. And it's not like only just get me through. I've still got 30% left. So bung it on the charge, hour and a half, it's charged. So ready for the next day. I wear it through the night. I get up in the morning, go to work, come home. By the time the evening comes, it's around about 30-40%. So it's still fine. The other option is like I did today. I actually put it on charge on the stand, forgot about it, woke up in the morning, popped it on, it's at 100%, and it will still be at 50% at 10 o'clock tonight. So the battery life for me is fine. Yes, it's not like a Pebble, it's going to last 3 or 4 days. So it is a daily charge thing. I mean, I probably would scrape 2 days out of this at a push, but the charging's not an issue. All I've done is I've bought myself a little wooden stand that the charger goes in, so I just take the watch off, pop it on the dock. It seats every time perfectly. There's no it not quite going on properly. It just pop it on the dock, and the dock cost me 10 quid, and it works perfectly. So no issues with charging whatsoever. So that's the first, in my opinion, one of the main reasons not to buy it. Just don't worry about it unless you want a watch that you never have to charge, or you like. I've got a Casio upstairs that it ran for 12 years on one battery. We all know about those sort of things. But if you want that kind of watch, that's fine. But as long as you're happy with a daily charge, it's no problem. And as I say, an hour and a half, it's fully charged, it's done. The second thing was the operating system. Now, I don't know if it's much improved because of the firmware update, the version 3 that I've put on it or what, but I'm having no real issues. Now and again, you do something and it doesn't react, and that's generally because it's doing something. It might be bringing something forward or connecting to your iPhone or something like that. But overall, the swipe down, that works fine. The crown push works fine. A double click on the crown, and I'm into my emails there. A double click on the bottom one, is Apple Pay. So that works absolutely fine. That's ready for Apple Pay. That works perfectly. A single press gets you into that sort of screen with all your apps on it. They work fine. I've only used a few apps, to be honest. Nothing particularly special. Just like my mail, my notifications. I've got a couple of golf apps on there, so you can use it as a golf GPS, which is nice. A heart rate monitor seems a little bit inconsistent, but it's fine. It gives you an idea. The mapping thing works quite well. I can control the camera on my phone from here. I can get basic eBay information on my eBay account. I can obviously answer phone calls. My WhatsApp messaging all works perfectly fine on here. Siri works really well, and my preferred watch face is really good because it has a little red light on the top, which basically says there's an email that's come through, so I can then just have a look at that and have a look, quick clear it, mark it for read later, whatever. I've got my weather in the top right hand corner, so it actually just gives me the temperature, but when I tap on it, it will then give me the weather. There you go, and it shows me the weather, and then I can go into that app more. So let's just go back to the phone face. Down the bottom of the phone face, I've got my timers, countdown timers, because I use countdown timers quite a lot. So I've got lots of countdown timers, especially for cooking and things. Just want to set a 5-minute timer. It's just so nice and easy to do that. You can set custom ones, and the interaction with the screen and the digital crown works perfectly, in my opinion. And top left hand corner, I've got the battery life. I've got a very simple watch face, but it's one that's got the date, the time, and it's got a sweep second arm on it, which is really nice, and it looks lovely. I'd say it works 90% of the time. When I look at the watch, the time comes up. If it doesn't, you just press it, it's fine, but it works really well for me. I don't know if it's the way I look at it, but it generally works really well. When you're driving and doing things, you quite often see it come on, but because the battery life for me isn't an issue, it's great. One of the nice things I like doing is putting my iPhone next to my Bose sound dock and playing music, and then I can control the music and the volume and that just from my wrist. So especially when I'm working out in the garage and things like that, I can just leave my phone right next to the Bose, because with the Bose, I don't know if you know Bluetooth speakers, the range isn't great, but I love the sound quality, so that I put the phone next to the speaker to keep my range good, and then I can control it on my phone. That's brilliant. I've got I can reply to messages via Siri. Siri works really good. When I speak to her, she pretty much gets what I'm saying and writes it out as I'm saying it. Very rarely do I have any issues with Siri. I know some people do. Also, if you're replying to a message, you can scribble now, and it's got handwriting recognition. Again, that works perfectly for me. It's not great if you're writing out a long reply, but just a couple of words or some numbers, it's dead easy. You've got your fixed replies, which you can actually alter on your phone, and have set replies that you usually use. So that's great. So I found that replying to messages is so much easier with this, and it all works really well. The alarm system works really good. I like the way it sort of taps you on the wrist, this sort of haptic feedback thing where it just sort of taps you on the wrist and gives you a little nudge to say, oh, there's a message or something like that. Works really well. The other thing I was concerned about was the strap, the way it went on. I thought, well, that's going to come off. That looks a bit flimsy and a bit fiddly, and it's absolutely brilliant. It works fine. It's silicone, so it's nice and easy to keep clean. No worries. I was going to get a leather one, but the leather ones get a bit tatty after time. I'm just going to get a couple more silicone ones, just different colours, just to, like, if I want a more sporty colour, I think I'll probably get the orange one. And maybe the blue, but just a couple of different ones just to change things up a bit. But that works absolutely perfectly. I'm really liking that. So I've not really got any negatives to say about it, because it does exactly what I want it to do, if not more. You news messages, you get just enough information. Oh, and the other thing, which I'd already noticed from using my Pebble, but I notice it even more now on this, is that the battery in my phone lasts longer, because I'm not pulling it out and looking at it all the time. I'm just glancing at my watch. And quite often now, I'm just responding to text messages on the watch. I don't even get my phone out of the pocket. So my phone battery life is improved. So it's, that sort of trade-off where you're having to charge it every day sort of comes into its own, really, when you sort of think, well, I've been in quite a lot of situations where I've been getting towards the end of the day and I'm struggling on battery on my phone, really struggling, and to the point where, it's run out. Well, that's not happened since I've had the watch, because I'm not caning the battery. And if you're sitting there playing games, like when I went on a trip and I'm on the plane playing a game the whole time, then yes, it's different. But just a normal sort of working day works absolutely fine. So, if you can pick a decent quality, well looked after, or in my case, an absolutely mint condition second-hand one up for a good price, and I think 160 quid for a watch, I've paid that for a Casio watch before, and I've paid a lot more for different watches, so 160 quid for a watch for me isn't really expensive. And I know as well that when I come to, when the Series 3 comes out and I then move up perhaps to the Series 2, I'll still get a bit of money back for this, as long as I keep it in good condition. And I know you have to be careful with the screen and that, but that is what it is. So there you go, that's my review. Very positive. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm so pleased I got it, and I'm so pleased I didn't pay too much money for it as well. Anyway, this is GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Bye.